In this video, I'm going to be sharing new fragrances I just got. Some of these fragrances were sent to me for free, and while some of these fragrances I purchased with my own money. So if you want to find out what I think about some of these new fragrances, please don't go anywhere. So welcome back, guys. Yes, I have a good mix here. Some of these fragrances are niche fragrances, some of them are clone fragrances, while some of them are indie. I believe there's one indie house here, and I believe there's a designer fragrance as well. And in terms of pricing, some of these fragrances are quite expensive ones, and then some of them are not too bad in terms of the pricing, and while some of the other ones are priced under $100, which I consider to be cheapies. So I'm also going to be rating these fragrances out of 10 based on my taste, based on my opinions, and generally what I think about these fragrances. So without wasting time, let's jump in right into the video. So the first fragrance I'm going to be sharing is a popular fragrance, one that a lot of people like and one that has gotten lots of love in the community, and this one is by Lattafa, and this one is called Kaah. Yes, this is Kaah, a flanker to the original Kaah by Lattafa. Yes, this one I find to be slightly better than the original based on my taste. I mean, the original never worked for me. I never really liked that one, guys. I found that one was too sweet, but here the sweetness has been kind of toned down. Plus the added note of coffee here, which kind of gives this one more of a creamy latte kind of vibe. The coffee here is not the smoky kind of coffee. To my nose at least, it gives that kind of creamy latte kind of vibe that I enjoy so much here. Also, guys, this one has a little bit of a darker vibe to it compared to the original, which I find to be more my style. And this one is perfect for the cold weather, a great fragrance to wear this fall. Also a great cheapy fragrance. No wonder a lot of people like this one. I'm hearing that there's a new one that more of in a kind of blue bottle. I'm not sure what that one smells like. And if I were to rate this one out of 10, I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. Just because of the price point, the scent profile. Performance on this one is decent for the price you pay. I mean, it lasts a long time on me, and it's also unisex, guys. So a guy can wear this one and a lady can wear this one. Yes, guys, that's Kaah by Lattafa. We move on to the next one. So the next fragrance we're going to be sharing is actually two fragrances from the same house. This is an indie perfume house from Nigeria, and this house is called Ywa Secrets, guys. And these fragrances I have here, one of them is called number 24 and the other one is called number 28. Two different styles of fragrances. This is a vanilla fragrance with sandalwood and some woods. Very creamy, beautiful fragrance in my opinion. Great creamy vanilla scent here. Great for the ladies. Ladies like this one. And this one is more of a, on the masculine side, more of a freshie with some, personally I get some aquatic touches here. And there's some woods, some vetiver I believe, and then some Sichuan pepper in this one. My favorite one from the house is number 204. But unfortunately, I don't have a full bottle of that one. I have a sample that I've enjoyed so far. That one is more of a bergamot fragrance. It's a freshie one I enjoy so much. But guys, those are two fragrances from the house Ywa Secrets, indie perfume house from Nigeria. Great fragrances in my opinion. The vanilla fragrance here, which is number 24, I find to be more of a feminine leaning fragrance in my opinion, while the 28 here is more of a masculine leaning fragrance to my nose. Yes, guys, so I rate these fragrances. This one I'll rate them both 7.5 out of 10. I think they're decent fragrances, the quality is there, and they both last a long time in my experience, especially this one, guys. Lots of compliments with the vanilla one here, number 24. So those were two fragrances from Ywa Secrets, number 24 and number 28. We move on to the next one. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is a new fragrance, and one that a lot of people have been asking me how good it is, where can I find it, and I do have a full review of this one on the channel. This one is the new Hawas Black by Rassasi. Hawas Black here has got a lot of people talking in the community. Yes, initially it was about the scent profile, what it smelled like, if it was a clone of this fragrance or a clone of the other fragrance, but I have all that discussed in my review. You can check it out on the channel. Recently I was told this fragrance is only available for now in the US and in Canada. I believe maybe in some part of North America, at least for now. So the scent profile of this fragrance is one of a popular DNA, the Creta Ventus, the Hashivat kind of DNA. Yes, initially I thought this fragrance was more leaning towards the Creta Ventus Absolute DNA, but in the end it's more like a Hachivat DNA to me. yes, the more I spend time with this fragrance, the more I find out it's more of a Hachivat DNA, in my opinion. Hawas Black here I find to be more masculine leaning. I know some ladies would like this one because I do have some ladies that wear Creed Aventus and they enjoy Hachivat as well. Yes, but I find this one to be more of a masculine leaning scent. It does have the freshness of the citruses up top, but in the end, it pretty much dries down to become Hachivat by Nishane. Hawas Black here is a great fragrance in my opinion. It's a great cheapie as well. You get good value for your money. This is about a 100 ml bottle and the performance on this one is amazing, guys. And yes, in my experience, I find this one to be better performing than Hachivat by Nishane or even Creed Aventus. And a lot of people have been asking me where to find this fragrance. I have a link in the description below where you can find this fragrance and some of the fragrances I'm going to be sharing in this video today. And also, guys, you can use my promo code PFC5 to get 5% discount at checkout. Guys, that's Hawas Black by Rasasi, and if I were to rate this one out of 10, I would rate it a 7 out of 10. Just because it's nothing new, nothing groundbreaking, but it's decent for the price point. This one is versatile. You can wear this one every day. That's Hawas Black by Rasasi, and we move on to the next one. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is from the house of Roja, and this one is a new fragrance. It's called Oud Extraordinaire. Yes, Oud Extraordinaire by Roja is a new fragrance, a new addition to the Oud collection. What we have here is an easy to wear Oud fragrance. This one is fruity, this one is sweet, this one has some vanillic touches. It's just a sweet Oud fragrance. This one is soft in terms of the Oud and maybe even just the woody accord that I pick up in here. Oud exclusive here is a compliment getter for me. One I find to be unisex, even though I find that this fragrance leans slightly to the feminine side. It's easy to wear, it's mass appealing, one I could wear in the summertime and also maybe in the fall season. Yes, with this one you will get compliments because it's very mass appealing. Oud Extraordinaire here features lots of fruity notes. It has a tropical vibe. It also has a lot of sweetness to this one, and there's some floral aspects with this one. I have a full review of this one on the channel. You can check it out and see what I think about this fragrance. So Oud Extraordinaire here is another new fragrance to my collection, one I've been enjoying a lot and one that's gotten me lots of compliments. With this one I find it to layer well with a lot of other fragrances in my collection. Also layer this one with some of that Oud fragrances in my collection and it works pretty well. And if I had to rate this fragrance by Roja, I'm gonna give it a good 7 out of 10. Yes, guys, that's Roja's Oud Extraordinaire, a new fragrance in the Oud collection by Roja, and we move on to the next one. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is a designer fragrance, and it's one from a very popular designer house, and it's none other than YSL's Myself Les Parfums. This is a flanker to the original YSL Myself EDP, which was launched last year. So YSL Myself EDP is a great freshy fragrance. It's one that's great for the summer and the springtime. But the flanker here, Myself Les Parfums, is more of a slightly darker version of that one, even though I find this one to have pretty much the same DNA, but with some added notes here. There's some spiciness here. There's also some sweetness here, and the white florals are much more prominent here. I find this one to be more sophisticated compared to the original, which was more of an easy everyday kind of fragrance. This one has more of a oomph, more of a depth to it, in my opinion. And I personally would wear this fragrance in the fall. So if the EDP was more of a daytime fragrance, this would be more of a nighttime fragrance. It does have a little oriental touch here with the vanilla and the black pepper. But yes, it still has that DNA. It still has a floral side to it. It has a freshness to it as well, and it's a great flanker in my opinion. If you're familiar with this fragrance, you know how well this one performs. Yes, this one I find to perform a lot longer and more in your face than the original, which is the EDP. I also find this fragrance to be great for date nights, for partying, and when you're going out, you know, when you're outdoors. A few times I've worn this fragrance, I've gotten a few compliments wearing this one here. Yes, guys, if you've tried this one, let me know in the comments what you think about YSL's Myself Les Parfums. And if I were to rate YSL's Myself Les Parfums here, guys, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. That's YSL Myself Les Parfums. We move on to the next one. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is from the house of Omar Jane, and it's a new fragrance, and this one is called Cashmere. Yes, Cashmere by Omar Jane is a new fragrance and one that's new in my collection, one I've been testing out a lot lately. So I get a huge dose of florals here. I get some spiciness up top with this one. There's an ambery quality here. There's some resinous qualities here, and there's also some woody aspects to this one. But the fragrance in general has that huge dose of florals that just personally doesn't work well with me. I'm not really a big fan of this fragrance so far. I mean, I'm still testing this one. I've only had it for about a week or two, but so far I'm not sure, I'm not convinced, I'm not sure how I feel yet about this fragrance. Cashmere here by Omar Jane can be a unisex fragrance. A guy can wear this one, a lady can wear this one, and I think this is a great fragrance to wear in the fall. And some of the notes with this one, there's jasmine, there's rose, there's coriander, there's cardamom listed as part of the notes here, there's vanilla, there's musk, there's cashmere, there's cedar, there's benzoin, there's patchouli, lots of notes going on in here. Like I said, I'm still testing this one out, and so far I'm not sure how I feel about this fragrance yet. One of the new fragrances from Omar Jane. I believe there's a second one that was released at the same time by the brand. Yes, guys, let me know if you've tried this one. Let me know what you think about this one. If I were to rate this fragrance out of 10, I'll rate it a 7.5. I mean, it's a decent fragrance. It just hasn't worked for me yet. Yes, that's Cashmere by Omar Jane. We move on to the next one. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is from the house of Sospiro, and it's a new fragrance by the brand, and this one is called Dolce Sonata. Yes, Dolce Sonata by Sospiro is a new fragrance that was inspired by music and art, I believe. This is one of those fragrances I really like, but I probably would not pull for. I probably would appreciate this fragrance more on a lady, because I find this one to be more on the feminine side than more of a unisex fragrance or even a masculine fragrance, in my opinion. So this one is fruity, this one is sweet, there's some citruses in here. This one has that smoky vibe from the incense, I believe, and there's a lot of florals in here as well. But yeah, this fragrance, in my opinion, has something here that just doesn't work for me. There's patchouli listed as part of the notes as well. But yeah, this one is mostly a sweet fragrance with florals and a little bit of smokiness to my nose here. If you like a fragrance with a smoky vibe, with almost even a leathery vibe, with some sweetness from like a cotton candy kind of sweetness, maybe you should check this one out. Yes, guys, that's Dolce Sonata by Sospiro. And if I were to rate this fragrance, I'll rate this one a 7 out of 10 based on my personal taste and opinion. Yes, guys, that's Dolce Sonata by Sospiro. We move on to the next one. The next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is a new fragrance from the house of Maison Margiela, and this one is called Afternoon Delight. Yes, Afternoon Delight by the house Maison Margiela. This one is a vanilla fragrance. It's creamy, it's lactonic, almost milky kind of vanilla fragrance with a little bit of baked kind of pastry vibe that I do get in here. And the inspiration behind this fragrance, like every other fragrance from this house, is always centered around capturing a feeling or a memory or an atmosphere. And this one is basically centered around memories or what you experience when you walk into a cafe. And yes, I do get some of those touches in here. This one reminds me of when you go to some of the coffee shops you have here, you know, when it's in the morning and they make some of those freshly baked goods, those vanilla cookies and things like that. You would get that kind of vibe in here. And yes, this one is sweet. If you like vanilla fragrances, you would enjoy this one. And there's an almondy, almost nutty vibe that I get in this one that I also enjoy. And this fragrance has a little bit of a woodiness in the base that makes this one kind of rounded, in my opinion. Like I said, there's a Madeleine Accord here. This is a sweet fragrance. It's great for the fall season. It's not overly sweet. It's a cozy, kind of warm vanilla fragrance that, you know, when you smell this fragrance, you just want to keep smelling your hand or wherever you spray this one. I'm not a big fan of the opening of this fragrance. Some people don't like the opening of this fragrance. I prefer this fragrance in the mid and the dry down. This one I find to be unisex, even though it's more leaning to the feminine side. I personally have worn this fragrance a lot of times, so I see no reason why a guy can't wear this one. Based on my taste and opinion, if I were to rate this fragrance, I'll rate this one a 7 out of 10. Yes, guys, that's Afternoon Delight by Maison Margiela. Let me know if you've tried this one in the comments below. We move on to the next one. The next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is from a new fragrance discovery brand for me. I didn't know about this fragrance brand until they reached out to me. And this one is from The Maker, and the fragrance is called Fire. Yes, this is Fire by The Maker. Yes, this fragrance took me by surprise, guys. Like I said, when I got the email from this brand, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I was curious to try the fragrance and see what the decorations were like. But yeah, to my greatest surprise, this fragrance blew me away, and this one was love at first sniff. Yes, if you know me and the kind of fragrances I do enjoy, you will know why this fragrance sits well perfectly with my taste. This one is woody, there's tobacco in here, there's spices here, there's vanilla in here. It's ambery, it's slightly sweet, it's smoky at the same time, you know, just a lot going on in here. These are the kind of fragrances that I enjoy, especially at this time of the year. Even though I'm not sure why the name of this fragrance is called Fire, I guess maybe the smoky kind of burning vibe that's in here. It has a smoky vibe for sure, but with the amber, the tobacco, the spices. You know, there's just a lot going on here that I enjoy. There's a lot of layers to this fragrance, and that's what I like about this one. And I forgot to mention that this fragrance has a boozy quality as well. I believe there's a boozy note, maybe even cognac was listed as part of the notes. And some of the other notes with this one, there's olibanum listed, of course, there's vanilla listed, there's juniper berries listed here, there's tobacco, there's saffron. I believe some other notes were listed here as well. But yeah, this one took me by surprise, and this one is one I've been enjoying since the weather kind of got cooler in the last couple of weeks. From the first time I smelled this fragrance, I was reminded of another fragrance that I do love, and maybe that's why I like this one so much. Yes, this fragrance reminded me of Honey Oud by Montal, but this has more going on in here. There's that smokiness going on here. There's the tobacco. There's that boozy vibe that you get from this one that's not in Honey Oud. I'm not saying this is a clone of that fragrance. They're two different fragrances, but it did remind me of that fragrance. And if I were to pick between both fragrances, I'll go with this one just because there's more going on here. This one has more depth, in my opinion, compared to Honey Oud by Montal. Fire here is a unisex fragrance in my opinion, even though I think this one leans more to the masculine side because of that boozy vibe, the smoky tobacco vibe that you get in here, the spices, or even maybe the ambery quality here. I don't see this one being an easy fragrance to wear. Some people might not like this one. This is not a safe blind buy. I wouldn't recommend you go blind buying this one. You can go to Sephora and test it out. You can get samples or whatever, guys. But yeah, this is a great fragrance in my opinion, and one that's perfect for the fall. And if I were to rate this fragrance, guys, I'll give this one a solid 8.5 out of 10, just based on my taste and based on my opinions, guys. That's Fire by the Maker. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is from a popular fragrance house, yes, Amouage, and this one is a flanker to the original Amouage Jubilation 25. This is Amouage Jubilation 40. Yes, guys, I said in one video I made a few months ago that I had this one coming on the way. Yes, I'm glad it's finally here. I guess I really enjoyed the DNA of both fragrances, even though the main difference to my nose here is this one has more of that blackcurrant and that fruity vibe than the other one, the original. And this one, compared to the original, has more of a fruity vibe that I enjoy so much, guys. And yeah, this one is more of a rounded fragrance in my opinion. I recently did a side-by-side test of both fragrances, and they do smell alike, but at the same time smell quite different, if you know what I mean. The original has more of a dry kind of resinous vibe, while this one has still the same dry vibe, but more of a fruity and more of a rounded vibe in my opinion. And Jubilation 40 here is a darker version of the original Jubilation 25. I also find some notes in here to be amped up and some notes here to be more pronounced to my nose compared to the original one. The longevity on this one is better than the original one, I find. And this one has a slightly denser vibe compared to the original. I've noticed with this one there's a lot of different takes on this fragrance. Let me know in the comments if you've tried this one and what you think about Jubilation 40 here by Amouage. And if I were to rate this fragrance out of 10, I'll give this one a solid 8 out of 10. That's Amouage Jubilation 40. We move on to the last one. So the last fragrance I'm going to be sharing is the newest fragrance to my collection, and one I've only had for a couple days here, and one I've been testing here and there. But yeah, this one is from a new fragrance house that I just discovered. I mean, actually they discovered me. This one is called Oud Indo Sheen by Maxim Perfume. Yes, Oud Indo Sheen by Maxim Perfume here was sent to me by the brand. I had no previous knowledge about this brand or this fragrance in general. But what we have here is a spicy amber with heavy dose of oud. The oud here is pretty potent, guys. I believe there's more than one type of oud listed as part of the notes with this one, guys. But yeah, this is one of those fragrances that you have to absolutely enjoy this type of fragrances to appreciate this one. Oud Indo Sheen here is heavy on the spices, it's heavy on the oud. It has a little bit of an ambery vibe here, and I get more of that ambergris kind of vibe in here, guys. Amazing quality with this fragrance, great juice in my opinion. The few times I've worn this fragrance, I mean, I haven't gotten any compliments. I'm not surprised about that one, but yeah, I do appreciate fragrances like this. They have that richness, that high quality, and if you're familiar with fragrances like this, you can almost tell. Think of fragrances like Bortnikov, and you know, this kind of high quality oud fragrances is the same quality you would get here. I mean, that DNA is kind of in here to my nose at least. In order to appreciate this fragrance, you have to enjoy oud, you have to enjoy incense, you have to enjoy spicy notes, you have to enjoy spicy amber fragrances in general. Yes, yes, there's definitely more going on here. There's saffron in here, there's beeswax listed as part of the notes here, there's 2 kinds of ouds listed here. Yes guys, yeah, just a great fragrance in my opinion. One I would rate really highly, one I really appreciate in terms of the quality. And yeah, this is not a safe blind buy. This is one of those fragrances that's kind of easy to wear, at the same time not easy to wear, if you know what I mean. People that like this type of scent will appreciate this kind of fragrance. Yes, the oud in here is potent, it's in your face, it's big, but it does get mellow as the fragrance dries down, so don't let that scare you away. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the opening of this fragrance. I enjoy the dry down more than the opening, and this one I find to enjoy more on my skin than on clothing. This one can be unisex, even though I think it leans more masculine, and it's gonna be a great fragrance for the fall and the winter time. And the performance on this one is amazing, guys. It lasts all day and even until the next day when you spray on your clothing. That's Oud Indo Sheen by Maxim Perfume. And if I were to rate this fragrance out of 10, I'll rate this one a 9 out of 10. Yes, based on my taste, based on my opinion, and based on the kind of fragrances I enjoy, Oud Indo Sheen by Maxim Perfume is a 9 out of 10 for me, and that's the last fragrance I have today, guys. Let me know what you think about my list. Let me know what you think about this video. Did you find any fragrances that you're familiar with? Did you find any fragrances that you're interested in? Let me know in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you guys. If you're new to my channel and you like fragrances and you like this kind of videos, consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to click that bell icon so you get notified whenever I drop a new video. And if you're looking to shop fragrances here in Canada or in the States, I have a link in the description below, and you're welcome to use my promo code PFC5 to get 5% discount. Guys, I'm gonna wrap things up and I'm gonna keep it moving, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, please guys, stay safe and bye bye.